The armed forces of a nation are the upholders of its sovereignty, and since it can't be more true than in India's case, it is not a coincidence that our military might is the mainstay of our Republic Day parade. Every year, year after year. Baptized by fire in as early as 1947, just after independence, the Indian Armed Forces defeated Pakistan decisively, and again in 1965, 71 and the Kargil War of 99.
The sacrifices and the heroism of our forces in wars and even in peacetime lends itself to an almost godlike worship of the Indian soldier. All Indians grew up on the legends of the Thimaiyas, the Karyappas and the Manekshaws and the heroics of the Abdul Hamids, the Khetrapals and the Nirmaljit Shekhons. Such is the stature of the military in India that if you ask any child what he or she wants to be when he grows up, the reply would always be a fighter pilot or an army man.
Our forces are being wooed by superpowers to train with them because we learnt counter-terrorism long before they even encountered it. It is the sheer courage, heroism and discipline of the Indian soldiers and officers who lead from the front that makes Indian peacekeepers much in demand by the strife-torn nations of Liberia, Congo, Sudan and Sierra Leone. 160,000 Indian soldiers have been in Blueberry missions in over 40 nations since the early 50s.
Why do you think we're the only nation besides the US to have never had a coup by our forces? Disciplined organs of the state, it is our forces that make India an island in a sea of coup-ridden nations of South and Southeast Asia. Nations surrounding us are either dictatorships or weak democracies interspersed with periods of military coups. Take Pakistan, take China, take Nepal, take Myanmar, but not India, where the forces pride themselves in being absolutely divorced from politics and being instruments of nation building.
From the Hurricanes and the Vampires to the Sukhoi, from the Dakotas to the Globe Masters of the Air Force, from the Sherman tanks of the Battle of Asal Uttar to the MBT Arjuns, from being dependent on the Soviet Union for all major weapon platforms in the 50s, India, to the credit of DRDO and its PSUs, now designs and manufactures the missiles Trishul, Akash and Nag. The light combat aircraft Tejas has been cleared for induction in the Air Force. It's taken long, arduous years and relentless toil by our aeronautical and naval engineers, but today we can boast of self-reliance to a degree never seen before. It is this quest for self-reliance and strategic autonomy that is fueling our ambitions of designing the 5th generation fighter aircraft in collaboration with the Russians. And it is this fire in the belly of our missilemen that makes BrahMos, the fastest supersonic cruise missile of the world, a reality. Only 6 nations in the world possess intercontinental ballistic missiles and nuclear-powered ballistic submarines. India's launch of the 5,000-kilometer plus range Agni 5 in 2012 and the nuke sub Arihant, which attained nuclear criticality last year, were times when Indians put their collars up. Both are designed, built and will be operated in India. Notwithstanding technology denial regimes from developed nations, India is the only Asian nation to be building its own aircraft carrier Vikrant at the Kochi shipyard. With the arrival of the Vikramaditya this year, it is the only Asian nation to be operating 2 aircraft carriers at the same time. But the armed forces of India are not resting on their laurels. Thanks to long-term planning and perspective, there are 400,000 crore rupees worth of equipment that we are in various stages of procurement in the next 5 years. In fact, India has knocked China off its perch and is now the leading weapons purchaser of the world, accounting for 12% of all weapon sales. The $20 billion worth 126 medium multi-role combat aircraft Rafale deal is close to being signed and the first squadron will be formed in 2017. Apart from the 6 French Scorpion subs being built at MDL, India has set the ball rolling for Project 75I. 6 more stealth subs worth 50,000 crore rupees, 4 of which will be built at Indian shipyards.
Over the next 7 years, a new Mountain Strike Corps costing over 60,000 crore rupees and comprising 90,000 soldiers will be raised along the LAC with China. The CCS has already approved it and funds have been earmarked. Integrated space, cyber and special forces commands are on the horizon. But at the core of all these expansions lies the man behind the machine, because it is the DNA of the Indian soldier that makes it a species unique to India and unlike any other. In New Delhi, this is Nandita Dagar for DD News.